Alright, so I'm just adding a little hot glue to have a temporary kind of a floor for my smaller pots. And I don't want anything super permanent because I do want to be able to take it out in case I did want to add anything long. So this is upside down, but that's going to fit back into my case. And then my pots will fit using that as a little floor so that they'll stay towards the top of my crate. Frugal Farm Gal here. I want to try a DIY video with you today. So I have a guilty pleasure of going on YouTube and watching dollar store DIY videos, specifically Dollar Tree. It's one of my favorite stores, but I have to be really careful that I don't overspend there. There's just so much cool things. But I have a wine crate that I got in my husband's auction, and I just think it would look super cute with a bunch of potted lilacs in it. And I thought it would be perfect for springtime. Did I say lilacs? I guess I'm leaning more towards lavender. I just painted a really cool sign that has to do with Lavender Farms, and so I want to make a piece that kind of goes with that in case it never sells. Otherwise, if it does sell, I'll just make myself another one. So what I did was I picked up a bunch, well, I say a bunch, I picked up 5 of these pre-planted faux lilac pot pieces at Dollar Tree. Let's see, here I think is the official tag on them, and whoops, that's the official tag, which if this is mirror image, you're probably not going to be able to read that. I keep saying lilac. Okay, that's obviously lavender. But what the dilemma was is that because everyone in the DIY world is talking about the lavender that is available at Walmart for 97 cents and Dollar Tree for $1, there's like none left. Like I went to Walmart today and there was not a single lamb ear or lilac left in their floral department. Like everything else but those 2 things were totally wiped out. So I was kind of bummed, but I'm like, well, I want to do this. Like I definitely want to try my project. So what I did was I picked some lilac stems that were at Dollar Tree, and I've already trimmed this one, but each stem had 5 pieces on it, and I thought that it looked so similar, at least to these Dollar Tree ones, that I could just kind of use them as filler and bring in a few other colors. So I ended up picking a light pale purple, a darker one, and kind of more of a blue periwinkle type color. So I just want to walk with you guys through kind of my project and my ideas, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end, and you'll have to tell me what you think. So I'm going to start with one of these, and you'll see in this one, I cut my picks apart of the lilacs technically, and so with each pick there's 5, and I bought 5 pots. So what I'm going to do is insert one of each color from my picks into here. I did cut them a little bit lower because I essentially want to make these look a little taller and fuller if I can. So I'm just going to go through and press one of each color from my picks into my little potted plant, which is kind of a bonus of not finding the actual lavender picks, because then I would have to figure out kind of what to put them in. So it's kind of a bonus that I ended up going with these potted ones because they didn't have the official separated picks. So now I have something to put them in. And so I have my dark blue, or I'm sorry, dark purple, my pale purple, or should I say lavender, since that's the color. I'm not sure what is actually in these pots, but the styrofoam or whatever it is, the top layer until you get through that seems kind of tough. So some of them I kind of poked a hole with my pencil just to kind of get it going. I kind of want to fluff it so they still look really full. So this is my first one. So I'm just going to go through and do that with the rest of my 5, and then I will get back with you guys, okay? So just one pick of each color, and then it fills up my little lavender pot pretty well. Alright, so I'll get back with you as soon as I finish the 5. Okay, so I finished putting all 5 different colored picks into each of my 5 pots. And then what I want to do is wrap them with this cute little paper. I have seen people use burlap too. Juby's joining us. Hi, Juby. I told her she had to be quiet. I'm selfish. So we're wrapping it with this paper to make them just look like a cute little portable, like you'd buy these at the farmer's market on a roadside. And just the folding on them kind of reminds me of, I know it's going to sound silly, but it reminds me of like the Chinese food bag foldings. And then I finished up a few, and you can see them in my little crate here. So I added my piece back in, the divider piece. I'll show you guys some more after it's done. I added my divider piece with the floors, kind of the floorboards that I put in. So it's they're right about here now, where like the wine bottles would go all the way to the bottom. I wanted them up higher, so I put the floorboards in. So now they set up higher. So some of them I finished off with this cute little lace that you can get at the Dollar Tree. Just a lace ribbon. And I like to kind of fold the end of the ribbon so that it gives it a little bit more finished of a look. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. And then some of them I decided to finish with just your twine, a twine bow for more of a rustic feel maybe. That's a little bit more my style. I like a little bit of both, I guess. I like burlap, twine, and lace. But I just want to show you guys how to wrap them. I got this last one wrap, and then show you how to wrap them again with the lace or the burlap. And then I'm going to show you my finished piece all together. And I hope you think that it looks cute. I think that they look pretty cute. I'm excited to see what it'll look like with my lavender sign, and I hope they look sort of convincing. If I could do this again, I probably would have wished that I would have been more patient and just gotten some actual lavender, and maybe even from like Hobby Lobby on sale. I know you can get, I'm sure you can get a great deal, or like really waited till it came in at Walmart. Yes, you can cut that. Waited till it came in at Walmart, but I just was so excited, and I just wanted to get some florals in. So for my paper, I actually recycled a paper grocery bag, and the font really only shows like in the very inside. Let's see if I can even get it in there. Can you guys even see it? Let's see. Which one is it on? This one. See, you probably can't even see it through the leaves. But the font is even very hard to find right inside there. If you fold all the font inside. But even if you do see it, I almost sort of feel like it sort of looks like a little bit of branding or advertising for, you know, if the lavender place really was, the lavender farms really were selling their lavender. Okay, so what I did was cut about a square, and honestly, I just kind of cut my paper bag apart, and then I started with a big square and then just cut it a little bit smaller till I got the size that I wanted for when it folded up on the corners. I made it just big enough to cover up the actual pot itself, but not so big that it's like, it's not quite touching the flowers or anything, but it's kind of tucking the leaves up. So what I did for mine was I found the center, and you can find the center by folding up the corners. That'll ensure that you have a square. Mine's actually not even perfect, so you don't have to be too uptight about it. Unless you want it perfect, I mean, that's totally fine. Do what suits you. But then if you just fold 2 corners, you make yourself X right in the center. Center-ish, I guess if it's not technically square. So what I did was I put it in the center, and then I picked 2 opposite corners to pull up like this. So I have my 2 opposite corners, sort of looks like a taco. And then what I did was I pushed up, and this is all set right on the ground, like as if it was standing. I pushed up the one corner to just kind of get it flexible. So what your goal is to pinch like this. So from this angle, I'm pinching like this and pushing the corner up so that it folds within itself. Okay, so that's what's going to give you the cool angle. you're gonna pinch in and fold up. And if you can do it while it's standing, then you know it's gonna still be standing when you're done. And so then before I actually glued it or anything, I did it to the other side just to make sure that they were still relatively even, and I didn't like accidentally scooch my pot over. So after I did that, what I did was kind of fold it around like this to give it a little hug. It's kind of giving it a hug. So then once I kind of have my angle I like, I just crease the corners. Yes, you can cut that. Julie's cutting off all my tags so that we don't have to worry about anybody taking them. Okay, so then I just crease the corners, or crease the sides, I guess. Corners or sides. So then it's going to give you a cute little coming in right here on this side. This side's not even as perfect. So, I mean, I'm pretty flex with that kind of stuff. But if it bothers you, then you just keep tinkering with it until it looks right. And then all I do is put a dab of hot glue, and then hold them there. It's a little bit warm, so be careful. But truly, you need just the tiniest little dot. Like, it's not very much at all. Just a very tiny polka dot. And then I hold it together and try to keep it tight. Say hi, Juby. And then it's warm. Once it's set, it doesn't even have to be, you know, hot glue doesn't take super long. You can just hold it just for a few seconds. And then that's that. So I have these last two left. So one I want to wrap up with burlap, or twine. I keep calling it burlap. So I just cut my piece to fit, and I'm not super fancy. It's part of being Frugal Farm Gal and rustic. Distressed is a little bit more my style. So all I do is tie it like you would a shoe with my little bow right around, and you can put it as high or as low as you wanted. I noticed if I have mine a little higher, then it still kind of peeks through my crate, so I wanted mine a little higher. One of them I tacked down just a little bit of glue, the hot glue gun. If you want it to stay there, if you don't mind it being flexible, then you can just leave it like such, and then you can change it if you want. No, how about you save the tape for Mom? Well, you can cut the papers. So then I just set it in here, and I kind of am scattering mine because I like them like that. And then for my lace, what I did was I just found a spot that maybe I didn't, that I kind of wanted to consider the back. Honestly, with these cute folds and everything. Okay, go find a snack. With all these little folds, I just feel like any angle is pretty cute, but just kind of pick your starting point, and just need your tiniest little point of glue. I should have showed that to you guys. Just like a tiny little dollop of glue. I did probably a little bit more than what I did on my little corners, and then I went around about halfway and again did about the same amount. So almost like a little rectangle, just the width of my ribbon. And then I'm just dabbing it a little bit so that it's secure on each side. So I did a dab here, and then finish going around. And then what I like to do is just trim it a little extra, and then I will put a little dollop of glue there again, just on the very edge, and then kind of fold it back on itself so it almost has, I guess a hem, more of a finished end. Alright, Juby, I'm almost done, and then I'll come get you a snack. So that's it for the craft. That's it for all of my cute little lavenders. So I'm going to put them in the pot, and then I'm going to show them off to you guys. And I hope you love them, because I surely do. I'm super excited.